Hi everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to look at the modern metagame on Magic Online. Technically, this is a winners-ish metagame. This is going to be taking decks from 3-1 and 4-0s in prelims, from 5-0s in leagues, and from top 32s in the modern challenges. We're going to look at the metagame, kind of analyze what's happening in the metagame, and talk about the top decks in the meta. Let's do it. So this is the modern metagame, and it is very diverse, in my opinion. Creativity is the most popular deck, sitting at the top, and then a small gap, and then Murktide, and then another small gap, and then Crashing Footfalls and Breach. And then the rest of the decks are dispersed in various different ways, including a large percent not representing a high enough percent to represent on its own in this graph. And so looking at this graph, while there's a best deck, or at least the most popular 4, maybe 5 decks, it's looking like you can do well in a tournament with almost anything in Modern. And that's really, really exciting to me. The big change from a few weeks ago when I did my last Modern metagame was Creativity was second most popular to Murktide. And it seems like Creativity is creeping up above Murktide now, which is kind of interesting and exciting as a Creativity player. Speaking of Creativity, let's look at Creativity. So what the deck is, it is essentially a Jeskai control deck that threatens a combo by casting either Indomitable Creativity or Transmogrify on one of the many tokens it makes, either a treasure token or one of the creature tokens, normally dwarves from Dwarven Mine, to then reveal cards from the top of their deck until they reveal a creature or artifact. Normally the only creatures in their deck are big baddies like Archon of Cruelty. You hit that combo, you get so much value off of Archon, you end up just winning the game. It is an incredibly powerful deck. It is very good at grinding even when it can't hit its combo, and when it hits its combo, it is very devastating for its opponent. The second most popular deck is Murktide. Murktide is sort of like the premier fair deck in Modern. It plays a bunch of creatures that accrue value in and of themselves, or an 8/8 for 2 as the namesake card of the deck, Murktide Regent, and acts as a tempo deck, removing and countering important things that their opponent plays, and just attacking with these creatures that are either really aggressively costed or get value, like Regavan or Ledger Shredder. And the third most popular deck is Crashing Footfalls, also affectionately known as Rhinos, which is sort of a tempo-y deck, normally Teamer, that casts a Cascade card, either Shardless Agent or the red-green run that is lost on me right now. Yeah, it's not coming to me. But Cascade allows you to reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a card that costs less than it, and then you can cast that card without paying its mana cost. And so everything in the deck costs 3 or more, because the 2 Cascade cards cost 3 mana. And then Crashing Footfalls has no mana cost, which means it costs 0, but does have a suspend cost. So you're able to Cascade into it, get 2 4/4 Rhinos for 3 mana, sometimes at instant speed, which is just insane, especially surrounded by a bunch of other cards that allow you to do really cool things and sort of control what your opponent's doing. Running a lot of split cards, because technically the mana cost is the combined mana cost between the 2 sides of the card, and a bunch of adventure cards, because technically the mana cost is the mana cost of the card on its own, not necessarily the first instant or sorcery part of the adventure. So they are still able to cast things, on turn 2 and stuff like that. So that's the top 3 most popular decks in Modern at the moment, but let's look at the top 8 metagame, because there are 4 challenges on Magic Online, and the most popular decks just so happen to be some of the most successful. Creativity and Crashing Footfalls sitting at the top, and followed closely by Murktide and Hammer Time, and then a gap, and then everything else as far as the top 8 metagame goes. But let's talk about Hammer Time, it being sort of the top decks of top 8s. Hammer Time is a really neat deck where they have a bunch of aggressively costed creatures, but is mostly focused around cheating equipment either onto the battlefield in the sake of Cauldron Complete, or cheating Colossus Hammer onto a creature, which gives +10/+10, sometimes at instant speed, and sometimes with the aid of Sigarda's aid, you can do that after blockers to just kill your opponent. It cheats Colossus Hammer onto things with Sigarda's aid, like I said, at instant speed, or with Pure Steel Paladin, which, if you have Metalcraft, makes equipment cost 0, even though the normal equip for Colossus Hammer is insanely high. It's 8, I think. And in that sense, it can just deal a ridiculous amount of damage, sometimes in surprise, and sometimes out of nowhere, and both times very, very quickly, and can kill strategies that are passive the first few turns. But that is the overall Modern metagame. If you liked this video, if you want to see more metagames like this, I do one every single week, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.